What's going on, LEGO Maniacs? It's Ty, the LEGO guy here, and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars review. Today we're actually taking a look at the very first Flash Speeder. That's set 7124. It had 106 pieces, one minifig, retailed for 10 US, and it came out all the way back in 2000. Now nowadays this set's going for 48 new or 17 used, and yeah, we're gonna get into its positives and its negatives. Sets back, you know, from the early 2000s, late 90s, I should say 1999 to 2001, a lot of them are quite rough, at least for the LEGO Star Wars theme. But enough talk, let's get right into it. And here we have the Flash Speeder. So let's give you guys a 360 view of her. Kind of clumpy looking, kind of not. I'm kind of like mixed, honestly, towards it as far as whether I think it's a sleek looking build or a clumpy looking build. I will say for 2000, this is definitely more on the sleek side of things. Believe me, there are far more bricky sets in the late 90s, early 2000s for the Star Wars theme. Now the first thing that I actually want to give you guys a little bit more view of is just the interior. So you have a nice little area where you can actually seat two minifigures. Like, considering that most sets this size would only fit one minifigure, the fact that you can fit two, there's two seats, I thought that was great. And you also have a nice little computer console along with a joystick. You can even spin the main turret around. There isn't a lot of play functions with this though. I mean, this is not like a set that we get nowadays. There's also some nice little printed pieces on either side of the speeder. And here's the underbelly of it. It has these little oval pieces that you can actually just seat like so, and it makes it look like it's kind of floating ever so slightly. You can also open this up to reveal a nice little cubby. And inside, there's actually some binoculars. It's quite sizable. Close her up like so. And here's the binocular pieces. They are those binoculars that kind of Luke has. And this Naboo pilot or Naboo officer also has for some reason. It's the main binoculars that they basically have in the Star Wars universe. Very cool looking little piece. Overall, I do like this speeder. It definitely is dated. However, I think that for the time, it was definitely on the better side of things. Let's now take a look at the minifigure. And here we have the amazingly detailed Naboo security officer. He obviously is relatively simple. I mean, he has that little happy face. The only thing that's really unique about him is his torso, which is quite nice. Some nice detail there. Give you guys a 360 view of him. He really reminds me of the LEGO policeman, which is sort of what he is. They basically are like, hey, let's just make a policeman and let's make him Star Wars. And that's pretty well what you got here. Don't have too much to say about him. He has no back torso printing, back face printing, none of that. He has that normal little police officer type little cap. He's just basically in a different color with a little bit different torso. Overall, I still like him. He definitely has that simplistic charm that we like from the early 2000s, late 90s when it comes to LEGO Star Wars minifigs, or just any minifig for that matter. Let's now get into the end of the review and get my final thoughts. Well guys, that was my review. Do hope you enjoyed it. Personally, I actually like this set quite a bit. As you know, we looked it over. Yes, it is a little clumpy, but I actually think it's quite good considering it came out in the year 2000. A lot of sets looked really rough back then. Of course, if you look at it nowadays and compare it by today's standards, it does look obviously very bricky, but for 2000, this was actually a pretty solid set. You get some nice looking printed pieces, and you get, I guess, a unique minifigure. This is the only set that this Naboo officer came in, so that's kind of cool. But let me know what you guys think about this one, if you like it, if you don't. Any areas you think they could maybe improve on it. We're gonna do a comparison of this one and the much newer one. But yeah, that pretty well does the video. But if you liked it, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that bell so you're notified for any future LEGO Star Wars reviews, comparisons. We do one of them every Tuesday, and yeah, they're very interesting to do, especially when you go back like over 20 years and see what LEGO was kind of putting out back then. and then maybe compare it to what we get nowadays. I just find that very interesting. But yeah, that's all I got for you again. But thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.